You know something? On the train, you're a passenger. In the race car, you're the driver.
It's good to be the driver.
Oh, yes. Now pick a track. Shanghai, Monza, Monaco.
I'm thinking Monaco.
Monaco, good choice. Maximum downforce.
Right.
Hard on the brakes.
Hard on the brakes.
You ready, my friend?
Yes, I am.
Let's hit it.
Let's do this.
With new Intel Centrino Duo mobile technology in your laptop,
What are you doing?
Monaco, baby.
your digital entertainment really comes to life.
I'm back here at the Sakhir circuit. We went into this Bahrain Grand Prix with huge expectations, all of which have been justified. An absorbing, thrilling race. A victory for Fernando Alonso after a race-long battle with Michael Schumacher. And what a start to the season, Mark Blundell.
Fantastic race. And I think, as Martin said, obviously on the podium there, what great names you've got. And the situation is, for me, I think Kimi Raikkonen's going to be a future world champion. He's standing up there with 2 world champions now. We've got so much more to come this season. Great.
And it's just, not just the men out on the track. Fernando Alonso absolutely correct to dedicate that victory to the Renault pit crew, who were fantastic.
Oh, very much so, because those guys turned their car around in the pit stop just when it was needed. A lot of hard work went into that, and the pressure is on those guys. Don't worry too much about Alonso sitting in the cockpit. That's a smooth area for him to contend with. A lot of pressure. He gets out here, and this is the make or break for the race. We get to the end of the pit lane. He's got to be thinking, and he's got to get the information to know where Michael Schumacher's actually going to be. But how close does it get? They both come into vision here, down into turn 1. Alonso's got him in his sights and his mirrors. He doesn't want to let him by. There's no way he's going to give up that Grand Prix win.
And you'd earlier seen rare frustration from Fernando Alonso, who he felt probably he hadn't made up enough time during those crucial 4 laps.
But he was frustrated with the guys in front of him. He knew there was traffic. He couldn't see any blue flags. He obviously didn't know there was information going to those guys. He wanted them out the way. Valuable time, 10th of a second, and look how close it got.
Very, very satisfying day for Renault and for Ferrari, but let's get Renault opinion from Pat Simmons inside the Renault camp with Ted Kravitz.
Well, Pat, many congratulations. But was that dice with Michael after the second stop a little too close for comfort?
Yeah, obviously we'd like a bit more of a gap, but you know, we were tracking it all the way through. We knew that was a critical part of the race. In fact, even in our pre-race brief, we'd said that was going to be critical. It was as close as it comes, but you know, that's what it's about. It's great.
Must have been pretty sweet to get one over Ferrari.
Yeah, sure. That was a strong start from them. You know, the car's running well. It's the first race, and we've shown what we've got. It's really enjoyable.
I know it's probably too early to be talking about the championship, but can we talk about the championship now?
It's far too early. Yeah, you know, it's going to have a slightly different face, but you know, what a drive from Raikkonen today. So maybe it's not going to be that different. Just a few more people in it.
Well done, Pat.
Well done, Renault, and David Coulthard has joined us after a different kind of race. What was the experience like for you out there this afternoon?
Well, I feel like I've been on a fast spin on a tumble dryer setting. You know, I had a flat spot after the incident with Heidfeld, and so much vibration I couldn't read the dials on the steering wheel. So I had to rely on the engineer to tell me what colour the button was that I needed to push to transfer certain things. But yeah, disappointing weekend overall, just outside the points. A lot of work to be done. You know, this is the first Grand Prix distance we've achieved.
Our commentators were nominating so many candidates for driver of the day, and you had a close-up view of the talents of Nico Rosberg out there this afternoon.
Yeah, well, he came by me at a fair rate of knots. I seem to be being passed with everyone on the straights today. I did a very, very good straight line speed. But yeah, a clean manoeuvre. Other than that, he just kind of disappeared off into the distance. So I'll need to rely on the others to have said whether he had a good wheel-to-wheel race with anyone.
David, thanks for joining us, and we can hear from the top 3 now. The press conference is underway.
All right, guys.
Well, we'll hear from them in just a few minutes' time. Press conference not quite underway. We'll take a break and we'll be right back with the top 3 in just a few minutes. Racing of this quality and final results like this one. Is this going to be the shape of the season to come? Dramatic victory for the defending world champion Fernando Alonso here in the Bahrain Grand Prix from a race-long challenge from Michael Schumacher. Kimi Raikkonen coming from the very back of the grid to complete the podium. Jenson Button just missing out on that top 3. Stunning drive from Nico Rosberg in the points on his Formula One debut as well. But let's hear from the man who's won this Bahrain Grand Prix. What a start to the defense of his title, Fernando Alonso. Hear from him now.
Fernando, it was close all the way, but a great start. You got up to second place on the first lap.
Yeah, the start was good, and from there was a little bit easy to think about the race, because about the start maybe was too down in the first lap, and then impossible to recover. And first stint, Michael was too quick, nothing to do. We saw that we had more fuel than the others, especially yesterday in quali, to go to lap 20. And then from there, I think the car was performing well. We were similar pace to Michael, and in the second stop, thanks to the lag, thanks to the mechanics, to do a perfect pit stop again, I was very close, but in front of Michael. And from there was, I think, similar again pace, but just me on the front.
It looked to be a bit of a tense time for you going into that second stop when you knew you had to make up time and you're in traffic there.
Yeah, a lot of traffic, and I think all the guys were okay to let me pass, but were no blue flags at all. So the marshals were not in the race in that moment, and but I had luck enough to be in front of Michael, and was good. It was really nice and really fun race for me.
How did you drive that last stint with Michael behind you?
At the beginning, quite slow, quite conservative, because I knew that at the beginning maybe the Michelin tires are a little bit better, and at the end maybe the Bristol tires are better. So I knew that Michael at the end, the last 4 or 5 laps, for sure we had some problems with him. So I was a little bit conservative and really conserved the tires to the end. But at the end was also quite a nice gap, this 1 second, 1.5 seconds, and all the last stint was quite relaxed.
Outstanding racing and some impressive reliability down the field for the first race of the season. How tough is it going to be for these teams now to repeat it all in Malaysia next weekend?
It's going to be very tough. They take these V8 engines now, go back to Malaysia. Very dusty around here, also dusty there. I'll be very impressed if they make it through to the second race. But what a fantastic race. Vintage year ahead.
And a quick word about Jenson Button. He's shown today that he has got the potential, hasn't he? He's
definitely got the potential. Unfortunately for Jenson, the start was that poor. It was on his back foot. He's got the pace. He's going to be on the podium, and I think he's going to win a Grand Prix this year.
OK, we'll have the full story of this Bahrain Grand Prix in our highlights programme a little later this evening. And then the next race, well, it's just next week. It's right on to Malaysia, where our live coverage of qualifying will be on ITV3 at 5:30 a.m. and that's repeated at 1:10 on ITV1. And the Malaysian Grand Prix itself, that'll be ITV1 at 6 a.m. with a rerun later in the day and highlights later still at 11:15. We've had some questions answered here in Bahrain. We now know one of the big ingredients of the new season. Alonso against Schumacher. What a prospect, eh?
For all the latest Formula One news and updates, visit itv.com/F1.